Are you ready to live boldly, full out, and on your terms? It's time to wake up, overcome your fears, and embrace uncertainty. Access your power and claim your dreams. It's time for Tuck Talk with T.L.C, the Rebel Belle. Join us now for inspiring conversation and bold self-expression for living life full out and on your terms. Now here is your host for today's podcast, the Rebelicious T.L.C.
Close up these holes and to align. I'm going to take you through the dimensions of your energy because I'm going to show you why maybe you're not attracting what it is that you want, assuming that you're not, because I'm not saying that you're not. When you're looking at this visual and you step outside your energetic boundary, you come to a layer of your energy, and they'll sound linear, but they're not linear, but just hear them that way for now. The first layer to your energy field is the layer that holds your purpose for being here. You have a purpose for being on the planet. You came here to be your authentic, beautiful, loving, vivacious, rebellious, freedom-oriented self, doing what you love to do so that you could experience your essence. My purpose for being here is to be a catalyst for transformation. I know it. I feel it. It's just who I am. So the first layer is purpose. If you move out a layer, and you can even label these on the drawing if you want to, the next layer is the layer of intention. It's where spirit begins to inform matter. When you came in to play this time, you came in with an intention or a purpose for being here. And it's in this intention dimension, that form actually begins to coalesce around your energy-based intention, the one that you have for being here. You're almost like a little clump of clay. I have my teacup here. The teacup is a form, right? Someone might look at this teacup and say, oh my God, it is a cup of beauty. This is a form that's been created because I want to experience beauty. That's an essence word, right? The form cup has coalesced around the essence of beauty. If I take a sip of my tea, I might say to you, I like this cup because it's a drinking utensil for me. So the form, again, is the cup. The essence that it brings me, I'll say a layer toward its completion, it's satisfying me because I can use it to bring satisfaction to me. Those are two different essences or energies that come from the same form. You are the same way. You are here as a form. And based on how you hold your energy and how you hold your intention, Spirit is going to coalesce your energies into this unique form that's you. And we're always creating and recreating ourselves in this form. The next layer that you come to is that one that we're calling the matrix of your thought forms. And the matrix of your thought forms, I'll say it ad nauseum, is your agreement with the universe about what your reality will be. It's where all your trigger events lie. It's where all your relationship, career, money, and fear issues live. It's in that matrix layer. Step out beyond that layer and feel the expansiveness of it. Can you feel it? Can you just feel the expansiveness once you step beyond that matrix of your thought forms? Because beyond your matrix is where all the resources in the universe exist. It's everything out beyond that circle. It's expansive. There is no limit to it. It's unlimited. So take your pencil and draw arrows toward this little cell, which is, the round circle. I'm going to call it a cell. Just draw arrows toward it all over your page. That is the universe, the God force energy flowing and bringing resources to you and through you all the time if you can but let it in. Your soul wants to work in partnership with you. Your soul wants to bring you resources. But remember, your matrix is your little agreement with the universe about what resources you're going to let through. If your matrix consists of thought forms of joy, creativity, ease, freedom, fun, the ones that Larry and I mentioned, man, the resources are just going to pour through. If the matrix has thought forms of fear, anger, judgment, hatred, whatever is there less than love, some resources may trickle through, but the ones that you're really waiting to align with can't come through. So as you deconstruct and reconstruct, I'll say as you deconstruct your matrix from the thought forms of anything less than love and reconstruct them with all of your thought forms that root from your essence words, the resources are going to pour in. Does that make sense? When you look at it visually, it's so simple. We lose power and energy to the matrix in those places where we're looking to be healed. And, we set our energy systems up in such a beautiful way. We're always either in growth or we're always either in protection. We either have the boundary intact or there's a hole in that boundary where we're leaking energy. And our exercise here is just to observe when we're triggered. And when we're triggered, say, now I got something to work on. I always think that is so much fun when I get an issue that I can work. Don't I, Larry? I love issues because I know that that's a moment of absolute transformation, liberation, and celebration for me because I am breaking my agreement with the environment. I'm not looking out there to the environment and saying, you are reminding me who I am because I can think bigger than you. I can think more expansively than you. Joe Dispenza says we have to think greater than the environment that we live in because the neural nets that are implanted in our brain, which I equate with the matrix, creates our environment. And if we can think bigger than what's in there, we're going to bring all kinds of amazing resources into our life and create a new reality. It's pretty cool, isn't it? So, your process is to observe when you're triggered. Live in the inquiry. When you're triggered, ask the question, what's my issue? What's my lesson here? What's my chatter? And write it down. In fact, on the issue tissue worksheet that you have, I put that in your little handout packet. Can't wipe your nose with it, but you can work on an issue with it. It's your issue tissue. You can, at the top of that sheet, when you have some time and an issue or a circumstance comes up that you want to change, write it on the top of that sheet. Now, again, when you're triggered, write it down. The moment of that trigger, chatter is going to come up. You're going to have an emotional reaction. All of your fears and judgments are going to come up. What you want to do in that moment, again, is live in the inquiry, ask what is my issue, what's my chatter, write it down, what are my fears, what are my judgments, and all the while, this is step 3 in the process, remember to breathe. It's imperative that we breathe. Just breathe. Every time I feel myself getting tense, I say just breathe. What you're going to do is write, if you can get to a place where you feel calm, you've been in the inquiry for a little while, you've been breathing, flip it in that moment. Just start flipping things and ask, what's possible here in this moment? What's something that I would least expect to happen in this moment? What essence would I like to distill from this moment? What is it that I really want to feel? Because if you worked on your issue tissue, my guess is if you actually sat down and wrote the facts of what was happening in front of you and compared that to the fears and judgments that you wrote down, you'd have a boatload more fears and judgments than you do about the facts. What we do is something happens, we have all these fears and judgments about it, and then we live in the fear and judgment place rather than just observing the facts. We get all carried away with our feelings and emotions, the ones that are coming up for us, and we forget to observe, we forget to flip, we forget to move into that place of looking at what it is that we want to create rather than the chatter that's coming up in our head. So ask yourself, what's the essence that I want to have from this moment in time? How do I want my mind to support me in this moment? What are my highest needs? What are my enlightened needs for power, safety, and value? My experience has been with this one simple exercise, using the issue tissue, understanding how the trigger events work, understanding how the matrix works, understanding that the holes in my energetic boundaries are targets bullseye, attracting to me people, situations, and circumstances that give me the opportunity to transform those outworn structures in my life, liberate myself from those fears and conditionings so that I can celebrate and move on with my purpose and vision for being here. It's really that easy. And you can do it all on an in-breath and an out-breath. You can do it in real time. You can do it in meditation. So the fifth step in the process for transformation, liberation, and celebration is a whole other phone call, so we're not going to go there. But that's being really, really clear on your purpose and vision for your life. Purpose and vision are going to align you with all of those resources that are now flowing in through your matrix, because your matrix contains only the thought forms of joy, creativity, and ease, freedom, fun, spiritual community, connection, contribution, and flow, and whatever your essence words are. So, here endeth the lesson for today, you all. Any questions or comments?
Well, I can just see that thought that I have is if you can develop this common language amongst those you're in relationship with, when you're triggered, sometimes you don't see you're triggered because you're still in it.
Absolutely.
That if you can get them to stop you and say, now, wait a minute.
You know what, Nan, that's a great point. That's a beautiful point. Dr. Michael Rice, one of his presentations was around relationships, and he had this relationship statement called the commitment. And that was the foundation of the commitment that, say, Larry and I would make to one another. I would commit to Larry that in those moments when I am triggered, I would not hold him responsible, that he would hold me in the place of, the highest place of love and understanding. That was the commitment that we would work on that together, that I would get that I had an issue and I was projecting that onto him. And he would hold the space for me to work on that issue, and we both know what's going on in that process. So when two people do get it, it works beautifully. I thank you so much for joining me to have some tea and talk with me, even though you let me talk, because we know how Tuck loves to talk when she does Tuck Talk. This is Tuck Self, the Rebel Belle, and Southern Voice for Bold Self-Expression, giving you a hoo-ha, that's the Rebel Belle yell, and gosh, hopefully inspiring and empowering you to be your boldest, most outrageous, most playful, passionate voice of self-expression in the world. Definitely full out and on your terms.